Yo, what is up, guys? It's your boy Tucker, and today I am gonna be branching off of the usual Pokemon and stuff like that content to read y'all a bit of a story, and if y'all like it, then I would love to do it again. This is the tale of the Destiny Grimoire Anthology, Volume 1, The Dark Mirror. Chapter 1, A Book of Sorrow. What is this violent ritual? These tales of suffering, where all ends in a feast of maggots and rot laid on a wormwood table for gods to feast on misery. But is not the light also served by savage sacrifice? Accepted wounds, blood spilled on the dust of distant worlds? Life and death, and life and death, and life and death are locked in a battle that never ends. The cycle is the same. The pain is the same. We eliminate those who oppose the light. They annihilate those who do not worship the dark. In the end, only sorrow remains. Verse 1.0. The Fundament. Dearest sister, it's taken me 2 years, a quarter of our lives, but I have found the proof. We aren't native to Fundament. Our ancient ancestors came here to hide. The plate of stone we live on, our osmium court, is one fragment of a rocky planet that crashed into the Fundament and broke apart. All other nearby continents, the helium drinkers, the bone plaza, and the star cutters, came from the same world. Perhaps the other races of the Fundaments are migrants too. We live on the shrapnel of our homeworld, floating on an ocean inside a gas giant. That's what Fundament must be about, a titanic gas planet. The endless storm above us must be one layer of the atmosphere and the sea we float on. There's more down beneath it, so much more. You understand what this means, Athona? The timid truth is a lie. We aren't meant to be the world's prey. We weren't born to live and die in the dark. We have a better destiny. Tell our father, Sister Sathona. This is the proof of his life's work. With love, for your second birthday, your first surviving sister, Alrash. Predators and menaces, carved to endure by Zero. Third surviving system of the Osmium King's last brood, a Stormjoy. A Stormjoy is a living cloud. When it passes over our continent, it lowers its feeding tentacles. On each tentacle are the bait stars. Although light makes you happy, you must avoid it. You will be eaten. A Stormjoy is a good way for an old person to choose death. Also, a daring knight can cut the bait stars from tentacles. I have 6. Falling. If you fall off the edge of our continent, you will die in the ocean. This is a special hazard when our father, the Osmium King, uses the engines. Helium drinkers. The currents of the Fundament Ocean brings us near other continents. The helium cord is near us now. They are our species, but they are our enemies. Their knights raid us every day. Helium drinkers have 2 legs, 2 arms, and 3 eyes, just like us. They are the bright/evil. I want to be a knight and fight them. The helium drinker ambassador ate 10 of my sisters as tribute. This is normal. However, I resent it. Mothers can fly. They live much longer than 10 years. Mothers are extremely smart, and they guard their spawn. If you try to tamper with the eggs, they will eat you. Sathona wants to eat the jelly and become a mother when she turns 4. Storms. The rain is often poisonous. Sometimes it dissolves flesh. When lightning misses the lightning farm, it can vaporize a person. This entire world is deadly to us. Mysteries. The fundament is very large. We are the smallest thing. If you don't understand something, it will probably kill you. My teacher Teox says this is why we have so short lives, so we can breed and adapt quickly. Moon waves. My sister Alresh is afraid of moon waves. When she gets back from her expedition to the tungsten monoliths, I will ask her why. For the consideration of the Helium Court, written in desperation, the sealed secret. I am Teox, sterile mother, teacher to the children of the Osmium throne. As a mother, I live long. As a neuter, I can rise above the small battles of court politics. I alone see the patterns of survival. Alone, I designed the great engines that move the Osmium Court. Now, alone, I act to save my kingdom. Senility has claimed my lord the Osmium King. He is 10 and mad. The study of ancient texts consumes him. Today he raves about moons above the storm. Tomorrow he will wander the hall, speaking to his familiar, a dead white worm from the deep sea. He keeps it in glass and tends to. He neglects the duties of a king. The Osmium King has 3 surviving heirs, each 2 years old. 0, the youngest and bravest, who wants to be a knight. Sathona, the most clever, who wants to be a mother. And Alresh, the navigator child, who dreams of the infinite ocean. Tomorrow she will return from the tungsten monoliths. None of these are suitable heirs. None of them will protect the Osmium Court from the howling fundament. 0 can fight, but not lead. Sathona can think, but not fight. Alresh's curiosity will draw her away from duty. I fear for all future children. Soon the Osmium King will lock himself in the royal orrery to study the moons. Gather your knights, O helium drinkers, and invade our continent. Kill the 3 heirs. I will rule the Osmium Court as your regent and build engines for you. And if I fail, let the Leviathan and the deep eat me. Written in Greek, this hateful request. Teox, Osmium Mother, neutered to watch. Sisters, this is how an oath is done. Put your left hand on the mass, close to mine. Take the knife in your right hand. Push it through your left, straight between the bone. Now, carve a bloodline down the mast. Speak your oath. I am 0, the youngest daughter of the dead king. I will take back my osmium core and kill the traitor Teox. On my left eye I swear vengeance. In blood the oath is made. I am Sathona, middle daughter of the dead king. I will take back my home and eat the mother jelly. I will raise my spawn on the corpse of the Helium king. On my right eye I promise this. In blood the oath is made. Now I will help you make your oath, sister, and I will help too. I am Arash, first daughter of the dead king. I will chase my father's last screamed warning. I will know what changed the motion of our moons. If the end of the world is coming, I will understand why. On my center eye I swear it. I will understand. In blood the oath is made. In blood. Thank you, sisters. We have only my ship left to us, but a ship is freedom. We have secrets to hunt, stormlit realms to explore, and great armies to raise. Put up the lightning sails, and we will voyage far. The Syzygy, carved to endure by Arash, the high vengeance. Only Zero's bait stars let us escape. Only Sathona's tricks let us reach the coast. But now that we have my ship, I must lead the way. I am the navigator. We may never say our homes again. Zero seethes with hate and fury for Teox. But this is my deepest fear. Our civilization drifts on fundament. At the tungsten monolith, I learned that thousands of other species drift with us, coexisting on a vast world sea, and the tides of the fundament move us all. The timid truth says that we are the smallest, most fragile things alive, the natural prey to the universe. Teox would have us believe that our ancestors came to the fundament to hide from the hungry void. My father died afraid, not of vile Teox or the helium drinkers, but his orrery. He screamed to me, Arash, my first daughters. The moons are different, and the laws are bent. And he made the sign of a Syzygy. Imagine the 52 moons of Fundament lining up in the sky. It wouldn't take all 52, of course, just a few massive moons. But this is my deepest fear. Imagine their gravity pulling of the fundament seas lifting into a swollen bulge. Imagine the bulge collapsing as the Syzygy passed a big wave, or a wave big enough to swallow civilizations. A god wave. I have to find a way to stop it before the god wave annihilates my species. If I could only get back to my father's orrery, I could learn exactly when. We are weeks of travel and many continents away from home. When I am paralyzed by fear, Zero sits in the cabin with me and comforts me with soft, brave words. But more and more we have come to rely on Sathona's wit. She will go off to be alone and return with some mad idea. Steer into the storm, throw down a net, eat that strange beast, explore the menacing wreck. Somehow Sathona seems to manufacture good luck by sheer will. My secrets, carved in my code by Sathona. The right eye, vengeance. This year of wild voyaging, these lightning nights and golden days, these forays into ancient wrecks and windblown flights from monsters. These are the happiest times of my life. I want to be a mother not because I want to spawn, but because I want a long life, long enough to make a difference. We have been at sea for a year, and I'm afraid. Afraid we will die out here. I know where to find secrets. I know where vast, slow things with long memories live. The Needle Ship. The Needle Ship, carved in my code by Sathona, a liar. We savaged the needle from the Shavubi Maelstrom. I knew it would be there. The needle is a gray ship, as long and as slender as hope, and as unbreakable as time, and older than death. It tumbled through the maelstrom before our ancestors crashed into the fundament. It's not a sea ship. Like all rashes, it's an artifact of high technology. I know its purpose. I know what happened to the crew. Zero wants to sell the ship at Kaharn Atoll, where species gather at auction. It would earn us enough wealth to hire mercenaries. We could retake our osmium core and send the baby-eating helium drinkers screaming into the ocean. But I told Zero the ship was worthless. Alrash wants to open the ship and see if we can take command of it. I know that this is the right thing to do. I know, because I asked the worm. The worm, carved in my code by Sathona. Who should be afraid? It was my father's familiar. I ripped it from him as we fled. It is a dead white thing, segmented, washed up from the deep sea. It's dead, but still speaks to me. It says, listen closely. O vengeance mine. A register of tokens, and gestured exchanged. Before the end of sisterhood, Zero, my brave sister, you have worked too hard to move the carcass out of the birthing room. Come, steer the ship for a while. Take joy in what our needle can do. Zero tried to protest, but secretly she was so glad for Alrash's care. She flew the needle ship in cutting circles down beneath the ocean, and their wake rose to the surface like a trader's dying breath. Alrash, lonely navigator, we have traveled so long with each other. I know you love to hear and speak new tongues. Come, sit in the flesh garden room. I will read you these stories I bought at Kaharn. Alrash sat among the mummified flesh fans, with two of her eyes closed, and listened in silence to Sathona stories, hungry to understand, voracious to know as much as she could before her 10-year-old life died. Later, Zero, I said, Sathona, cutting mind of our own, you grow lonely in your thought. Play swords and lanterns with me. But Sathona was heavy with sorrow, and couldn't pretend joy at all as she chased Zero through the needle-glistening halls. Sathona, pensive one, what is it? What troubles you? Her sisters listened as Sethona said oath-bearing siblings. We are 5 years old. For 2 years we've worked to repair this ancient ship and understand its system. I'm almost too old for the Mother Jelly, and the knights who killed our father are surely dying of age. We 3 will die here, in exile. Teox will outlive us, and Alrash, brilliant-eyed Alrash. You will die of old age, long before you have any proof of your god wave, or any way to stop it. Alrash and Zero looked at each other. I wish you weren't so honest, Zero said. And Alrash thought that Sethona had never been wrong. In her soul, Alrash knew that the only way to keep their oath was to find a great, powerful secret. A secret that could change everything. This was Alrash's soul, her fire, her shadow, her desire to cut the flank of the world and find its beating heart. We have to dive, Alrash said. That's what this ship is built to do. Dive into the fundament, the world below us, torch the core. That's where the ancient crew died so obscenely, Zero protested. That's where the atrocity in the birthing room was born. We have to dive, Sethona said, following the whispers of her familiar. In the world beneath us, in the metallic depths. I hope we may find what we need most. More time. More life. For life, Sethona dove for vengeance. Zero dove, and Alrash dove to understand. The needle ship pierced the skin of the world and burrowed deep through layers of foam and metal and cold elemental slush. Alrash devoured the ship's maps of fundament. From the high angelic cloud decks, down and down through the storms and oceans and plates of floating world, into the crush of the core. They met monsters of continental scope, vast anemones that raised glowing tentacles to bait them in. Zero flew the needle through them, and they bled black carbon jelly and frost. They came to a still place beneath a plate of metal. I'll use the sensors, whispered Alrash. Listen. In the wet gold dark of the helm, they listened to the ship, and the ship listened to the crushing motions of fundament. They heard the collision of continents. They heard the patter and the crash of the helium neon rain. They heard the struggles of monsters, and they heard the distant groan of the ocean rising, tugged by distant moons. The syzygy is real, Sethona hissed. It's already begun. Behind them, Zero thought of the birthing room, where ancient explorers had labored over surgeries and administrations, peeling back the chrysalis and the coal of that which they had made from the deep, whose birth none of them would survive. There's something down here, she whispered. Something secret. And the Leviathan boom loomed over them. Its brow as huge as all the continents of their childhood. Its great away fins crackling with lightning of its life, booming into the hull of the needle ship in a microwave voice. You must turn back. Save yourself from the deep. Save the world from yourself. You must turn back. The Leviathan's warning. We live on the edge of a war between formless and form, between the deep and the sky. My eyes are wide, my gaze is long, across the universe as far as I can see. The sky works to charge its fires, and the deep drowns the ash. Sky builds gentle places, safe for life. Beloved fundament, refuge of trillions, the sky treasures this rich place. But the deep is here with us. Cold logic tests our walls. The deep claims its domination. A ruthless final age. Alrash's protest. Old Leviathan, creature of myth. This world is no refuge. We live short, hard lives. We die in the dark. The storm above us will never end, and soon the God wave will take us all. Above us, there are only storm joys, monsters, and moons of apocalypse. Let us go down, down where we may discover truth, some power to avenge ourselves upon our betrayers, some hope of survival. The Leviathan's hope. What power calls you down to the deep? What instinct draws you away from high hope? Quick breeding krill people, I tell you. For eons I've watched your struggle, clinging to the sharp edge of survival, balance between the dark and the sky. You were my treasure, my proof against despair. For this is the deep claim. Existence is the struggle to exist. When the struggle seems lost, when the safe place crumbles, everything turns to the deep to survive. I reject the deep claim. You will turn back, sweet krill of hope. You will choose the sky instead. Zero's protest. You are huge and old. Our lives are short and desperate. If that's the way the world's supposed to be, I won't have it. If people like Teox are supposed to win, I won't let them. I'll beat the world until it changes. I'll kill anything in the way. The Leviathan's dirge. This fatal logic. Hear my monopoly scream. It will consume you. Before you lies the worship of death, the ruinous path. The sky builds new life. Against the onset of ruin, towards a gentle world, the deep embraces death, saying this is inevitable and right. I exist as hungry ruin. Turn back from this world killing way, or you will live as death and devastation. The sky is the harder way, but it is kinder. My charge is balance, my voice exhausted. Sothona's protest. Sisters, I have my father's familiar. Look, It answers me. It answers me in plain words. It helped me find this ship. It gives me the strength when hope is lost. Who will you trust? The voice that wants us to live and suffer, as we have lived and suffered? The Leviathan that offers no hope against Taox, or the world wave, or the plain honest worm? Let us see where its whispers lead us. All rash, let's go deeper. Zero. Let us dive, O sisters of mine. You are all rash, heir to the osmium throne. You stand on the naked hull of an ancient ship. You stand exposed to the crushing presence of ferocious heat of the deeper fundament. It should annihilate you. It is by my will alone you will survive. I am Yule, the honest worm. Behold my passage. Behold my vast displacement, my ponderous strength, my great and coiling length, my folded jaws and curled wings. Behold the hiving cities, symbiotic with my flesh. I am fecund, all rash. I am the beginning and end of lives. Behold, Ir, Zol, Aka, the fictitious worms. Look upon us and know we are God. For millions of years we have been trapped, glowing in the deep. From across the stars we have called life to fundament, so that it might contend against extinction. For millennia we have awaited you, our beloved hosts. Against you, you stand the cruel Leviathan and the forces of the sky. They would crush you down in the dark. They have arranged their moons to drown you in fear of your potential. We want to help you, princes. We offer each of you a bargain, a symbiosis. Take into your bodies our children, our newborn larvae. From them you shall obtain eternal life. From them you shall gain power over your own fragile flesh, the power to make it as you will. And you should find an imperfection in the world, an injustice, or an inconvenience. You will have the power to repair it. Let no mere law bind you. We ask one thing in exchange, O princes. You must obey your nature forever. In your immortality, Arash, you may never cease to explore and inquire, for the sake of your children, your immortality. Zero. You may never cease to test your strength and your immortality. Zathona, you may never abandon cunning. If you do, your worm will consume you, and as your power grows, O princes, so will your worm's appetite. But we offer eternity, Alrash. We can offer you a chance at the universe. Would you deny your people's infinity? Reach up to me. Let my flesh be your sacrament. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where we're going to end today's video. I hope everyone had an amazing time listening to me reading to y'all. And if y'all would like to see me do it again, you know the deal. Like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell. And until then, I will catch y'all in the next one. Peace.